All right, so welcome back. And from today, we are going to focus on the Flutter UI development, user interface. And obviously, user interface is really important in mobile app development because nowadays people have, more kind of requirements on how the app looks like, how easy it is to use the app. We call it user experience. So UI, UX, okay, that's something that most of the company are put a lot of work and attention to make it better and better. So to develop a UI for Flutter, it's a very, very important step and component. And in general, there are mainly two things you need to focus or you need to build. All right. So the number one, we call it widgets. So basically, if you want to make this app, build this screen, what are the widget you want to put on the screen? Do you want a little text? Do you want a little scrolling bar? Or you want some kind of like a video player, an image, or maybe a list, some kind of input boxes and text areas to type more text. And there are so many different widgets you can use, but then depending on the functionality, you will need to choose which one to use. All right. And then once you have the widget that only gives you functionality, but to make it really look better, you will need to do the layout. You need to configure how the app will line up on the same screen. How do you align and arrange all the different widgets together? And should you get any kind of margins and give some spaces to make it look nicer? Or you change some of this, the boxes, the borders, and then how you group different elements together. So these are all controlled by the layout, right? So these two pieces, widgets and layout, are the most important part for the UI development. And then in general, you decide the layout and then you fill in with all the widgets you need. All right. So eventually, the UI, from the coding point of view, you're basically constructing a tree. All right. So the widgets are basically all this individual UI element, and then the layout just like a containers, and then they can group and then contain some other widgets together. So if you think about the whole app, one screen as a tree, so you will have a root container that contains everything, and then inside you may have some other containers, some other layout, and then each layout could contain some other widget or actual layout recursively, right? So later on, you will see how this tree structure is going to work in the UI. But right now, I just want to give you a quick overview. But think about any kind of app, okay, you use very often every day, like Instagram, right? So this one here shows a kind of a friend list or messaging view, right? It is the list, and then every row you have a little image icon to show the avatar profile picture. You have some of the text to show the name, to show the last message is being sent. So that's basically, you only need a very basic widgets. But to put them look like this, very clean and simple, you need to use some kind of layout to put them row by row vertically, and every row you got this horizontal view that the icon is on the left and the text is on the right. So all of this need to be configured by your code. So whenever we talk about the UI development, always keep in mind there are two components. We need to build the widget, choose the right widget to use, and then we need to set up the layout to make it look better. All right, so next lesson, we'll actually start diving into how do we develop and code the different widgets.